From surgically modified bodies to becoming a millionaire in a day business, do we even know what's real anymore? Every day we are faced with the next best thing when we're just trying to become healthier, wealthier, and happy. What the fuck is real? What the fuck is true? What the fuck are you supposed to believe about yourself and your success while trying to build something that actually lasts? Welcome to What the Fuck is Beauty Anyway, the podcast. I am your host, Jen Carrasco, founder of Raga Studio, a fitness champion, IFBB pro figure competitor, a skincare line creator, and a serial entrepreneur. Well, and I'm an overall business coach. After years of building businesses from the ground up, I am here to help you with society's standards and, well, to use your beauty within to build something that is truly you and truly impactful. So now let's dive in. What's going on, guys? So back by popular demand, I have been getting a shit ton of DMs and comments about hormones. So if you guys don't check out my social media, I highly, highly encourage you to do that because I shoot out so much knowledge about health, wellness, business aspects, anything you name it, anything that I feel like I can give you advice or help you on, I shoot it out. So go check out especially my Facebook. My Facebook has a lot of information literally all the time. I'm dropping knowledge. So if you are following my Facebook or social medias, you know that I'm actually in the middle of doing a 6-week metabolism booster program. And the reason why I created that is because there's so much saga and so much shit behind losing weight. And there's all these fad diets, what you should be doing, what you should be eating. And nobody talks seriously about the real deal on any of that. And so it was brought to my attention that people want to know more and people want to know more specifically on certain topics. So I am going to go over that. So I'm going to give this another rundown, and it's called Hormone Take 2. And why am I bringing up the topic again on hormones? And it's important. Most people, especially when we surround ourselves with weight loss, despite what we've been told and what has been drilled into our skulls, that the amount of food, the fat shaming in our culture is just absolutely ridiculously stunning that so many people still deal with this. So this is why I feel like I need to hone in on the certain aspects of possibly why you are not losing weight. And especially if, you're doing these extreme diets, exercises, and supplements or anything else that you're doing that you think that you should be losing that weight and you're not. I want to dive in deep a little bit more around the hormone imbalance and why this is so crucial and the reason why you're not losing weight. So I discovered that a calorie in, calorie out hypothesis has been widely disproven. And it remains the greatest misconception people have about diet and weight loss. Now get this, calories do matter more to some people than others, but hormones matter more than anything. Most diets and tactics that are out there, especially for women, I want you guys to stop beating yourself up, and I want you to start paying attention to your body and start paying attention to what it's telling you. The diet plans that are out there, they fail to address hormone causes, the root causes, the main causes for the reason why weight loss is resistant, like excess cortisol, insulin, leptin blockage, estrogen dominance, and a sluggish thyroid. low testosterone, and problems with our HPA control system. And HPA is like our pituitary adrenal gland. So we're running on adrenals. We'll go a little bit more into that. Another thing too is if you guys do not follow Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, I highly, highly suggest that you do. The reason why is because she's actually my doctor and she helps me a lot with my hormone imbalance. Because once you get to a certain age, unfortunately, our hormones do misfire a lot. And that is due to a lot of the excess stress that we have put on our systems for a long period of time, especially myself as like an athlete or a single mom, even going through the divorces that I went through. It's caused a huge imbalance in my body and hormones, and it's messed with my insulin, and it's also messed with my progesterone and my testosterone. It all goes hand in hand, and it plays huge roles and huge effects in this. So if you do not follow her, I suggest that you do follow her. You don't have to hire her if you don't want to, but I highly recommend that if you can hire her. She's freaking amazing. She will literally get your whole body straight right back on track. So today I am going to dive in a little bit with cortisol. So cortisol is a huge prominent reaction in a lot of people's bodies. So I'm going to cut the BS out of why we're not dropping weight, and I'm really going to get down to the nitty gritty. So 90% of time, I find within myself and my clients that the main hormone that wreaks havoc on their body is cortisol. So cortisol is extremely disrupting other hormones as well. It's not necessarily just cortisol itself, it's cortisol and what it does to all of your hormones on top of that. So our body makes up cortisol in response to stress, and that is the fight or flight moment. Just like you hear people say, like, if a bear were to attack you, you know, your cortisol responses and what would happen. But most of us all run around stressed. We all run around with our heads chopped off doing 50 million things, stress eating. Let me give an example. Sending an email out while you're gorging down your meal in the afternoon. That is producing cortisol. You guys don't understand. It's stress eating. So cortisol literally will fuck all of your systems up. Cortisol levels wreak havoc over time. So just know this. It's not necessarily that it just happens right now, but it will happen over a period of time. So I'm talking about years of stress and breaking down our bodies while depleting our happy brain chemical like serotonin, which will rob you of your sleep and making you store fat, especially in your belly. Cortisol really resides in your belly fat. The hormone is directly linked to belly fat. High cortisol is likewise linked to depression, food addiction, and sugar cravings. The root cause of a cortisol imbalance is usually a dysregulated HPA. And HPA, like it went over before, is a pituitary adrenal gland, which is the boss of all of your hormones. So you are what the fuck is HPA, right? So stress is a stress response system. So it just breaks it down. Typically, that's what it is. When the HPA is upregulated, you churn out way too much cortisol, like most of us do in our fast-paced lives. So what is the result? Well, the result is our lovely freaking muffin top, right? So you feel like you're constantly racing from task to task, feeling wired but tired, quickness to anger and irritability, and rapid weight gain. So over time, the HPA can get burned out and become downregulated. Then you feel a lack of stamina. I'm sure many of you guys understand this. It's almost like getting thrown in your face right now, like, oh shit, maybe it's not necessarily my diet, maybe it's not necessarily the fact that I am working out and I'm not losing weight. This is the reason why I created this program. And the program is created so that way you will sit down, you will rethink your life, you will rethink the things that you're doing in your life, and you'll journal. Now, I know I don't want you to think, okay, this is a bunch of woo-woo shit, but honestly, when you journal and you write this stuff down, you're going to understand exactly what's happening to your body, okay? So, when your body becomes down-regulated from this, then you feel a lack of stamina. You have a tendency to hold on to negative point of views. Have you ever noticed that majority of people are just negative as shit and grumpy? There you go. You catch colds frequently. So it's going to help you to actually relieve stress, and you're not going to be getting colds, COVIDs, pandemics, whatever it may be, right? And you may experience also thyroid problems over a period of time and your thyroid crashing a bit. And we'll go into thyroid a little bit later. I'm going to do a couple series of these so you guys can hear them. So we will talk about thyroid, but I will do that in another segment. I do highly, highly recommend, though, that I am not a doctor by any means, but every person, I should say every woman in specific, after age 30, we really should be substituting with some sort of thyroid medicine. So I would honestly try to get with a hormonal doctor or a naturopath and talk to them about this, because a lot of times you're not going to get it from your regular physician. But it is something that I actually do highly, highly recommend that you do. So let's go through things that are going to help you with your cortisol instead of just pushing out a bunch of negative things that happen. So since the main root cause of this is our cortisol, any attempts to fixing the hormone would likely fail in long-term effects, right? So here is a simplified protocol for you to become more objective about your stressors and about balancing your cortisol, especially in women. All suggestions that are proven in randomized trials that I have actually done some research before I popped it on my podcast. But this is actually what really, truly helps with me, okay? So, very simple. Talk through what's stressing you out with a girlfriend. Now, if this is a guy, sometimes it's hard, but there is men out there that like to talk a bit about kind of what's bothering them and pushing through. Maybe even call your significant other or your mom or something and just kind of stress relate what's going on in your life. Practice journaling daily. I journal daily. I write down, and it might just even be on my iPad or my phone. I journal daily. It helps to reflect. I even journal my food because then I understand exactly how I'm feeling after I eat certain foods. Practice some form of witness. And what I mean is conscious, like meditation or yoga. So a lot of us are busy, right? We're constantly going. I'm going to give you a little thing that I do. Sometimes I don't have time in the morning to meditate. Sometimes I don't have time to go and do a yoga. My yoga class is getting on a Peloton and sweating my ass off, right? But what I do is maybe on my drive into work, I will pop on some great meditation and I'll listen to that and reflect and reallocate my mind to more positive aspects. So you could just take little mind shifts that help you to do those things. Another thing is add B vitamins and omega-3. And then as a skin tip for you guys, omega-3s are really good to help with dry hair and dry skin. So if you're deficient in that way. I also do vitamin B12 injections. I do that weekly. That really truly helps with my stamina, my energy, but it's also a happiness. So know that your B vitamins are going to help you to produce that happiness as well. I also, which I will post on my Facebook, it's called a cortisol manager, and it's like a supplement that I take, and it really helps with kind of chilling out that hypercortisol that I produce because I am A-driven, so I'm constantly going and going. I will post that on my Facebook feed, so try to find that. I will post that when this podcast goes live. So that will be on my Facebook on a Thursday. So I'll post that with this going live. Now, another thing is I get a massage once or twice a month. It's a reconnect for me. It's great for releasing toxins in your body. It's great for a stress reducer. Muscle tension. A lot of times our bodies are so wound up and we don't realize what a great effect that massage therapy has on us. So even if you can't afford getting a massage every other week, go and get a pedicure, a manicure, something that can actually relax you a bit. Another thing is limit your alcohol and limit your coffee consumption. The reason why is those will definitely trigger to cortisol and it will up your cortisol levels a little bit. I would ideally tell you to switch to green tea, which contains a lot of amino acids that reduces the stress without like sedation of it, okay? Another thing that I post all the time on my Facebook is my Lily's chocolate that I love. Eating extra dark chocolate, the 80% cacao or cacao or however you say it or higher, that actually has a great effect with your cortisol and your serotonin levels. So keep that in check. So if your symptoms do not resolve, I recommend plant medicine. Ashwagandha is definitely number one. I take ashwagandha daily. It is my favorite reset cortisol medicine. So if it's not too high, it's not too low during the day. And if it doesn't work for you, the ashwagandha, there also is, and I'm going to butcher the name because I do not take this. It's Rhodiola, Rhodiola. Sorry that I totally butchered this, but I always use ashwagandha. I love it. So I hope this helped a little bit more. So a little quote that I always put out for people is, a daily battle with the bathroom scale can cause shame, judgment, and suffering. Don't let it happen. There's no reason why it should be happening. So with diving deep a little bit with cortisol today, I am going to highly suggest that if this is something that you deal with and it's something that you feel like you're constantly stressed and you don't know how to get out of your head and you don't know how to do these things to move on to the next level, check out the Metabolism Booster Program. It honestly will help you understand the whole logistics of what our body does and how it does it. And it gets you out of that realm of thinking that you have to do these mass crash diets or high intensity exercises and all of this other stuff that actually kind of wreak havoc on your body with certain levels. So I'm going to explain something for you too. And a lot of people don't understand this. For an athlete, or not even just an athlete, just even an average person, let's say, okay? Every single day you wake up and you push yourself, say, on the Peloton, or you go and you work out every single day pushing those weights over a period of time, right? You stress your body out. That is stress on your body. It is producing cortisol, right? If you do that on a daily average every single day, you are stressing your body out. You're producing cortisol. I take a break through the week. So if I feel like I'm sore, I feel like I'm tired, I feel like I'm depleted, I feel like I can't hop on that bike, or I feel like, I really can't go to the gym and push today, there's a place that you need to learn to start listening to your body. That is a place that's telling you that your body's stressed. That is the time that you need to start to repair and take care of yourself. In order to build muscle, you have to break down the muscle, but then you also have to repair that muscle for that muscle to get bigger. People don't understand this concept and they push themselves over and over. It could be in business, it can be in relationships, it could be in your fitness. We need to understand that even living a high-paced life, we need to figure out ways to de-stress. Because the reason why we're gaining weight and the reason why we are showing up with so much belly fat is because the way that we live our lives. I want to be that advocate to help you, to push you to understand what you're doing to your body, your mind, your life, your family life, your relationships. I want to be that person to help you and to guide you to become healthier. And that all stems from what we're doing inside and what we're doing to our own bodies. So with that, if you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything that stirs up the pot for you that you want to talk about when it comes to cortisol and hormones, let me know. Each week, I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper on a certain hormone. This week was cortisol. If you guys have more questions on cortisol, please inbox me. I would love to help you. Also, please remember, please review me. Please share this. This is the only way it gets out there. This is the only way I can help more individuals. So with that said, you guys, make it a killer week. And I have a homework for you. Try to find some time in your week to either A, get a massage, get a pedicure, get a manicure, take a yoga class, or just sit in silence, or just journal for an hour. Just one time this week, do that for me. And please message me how you felt after you did it. Make it a great week, you guys. Thanks for turning in this week. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're feeling stronger mentally and physically and ready to kick some ass. As we navigate new society norms, business and beauty breakthroughs, make sure to always ask yourself, what the fuck is beauty to me? And know that's all that really matters. If you love this content today, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow me and get more info on how to work with me at jencarrasco.com. You can also find me on all of your favorite social media platforms. Now just remember, stay mentally tough.